from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He's also the co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour and the host of the George Camel Show. Very popular on YouTube, both Ramsey Network Productions, and we'll be taking your calls. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Brian starts this hour in St. Louis. Hey, Brian, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Sure, what's up?
My wife and I are trying to build a house, and we're discussing how much we should have saved ahead of time. I would like to have $100,000 saved, and she wants to start now. We're at about $40,000 saved.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so she isn't as concerned about the down payment as you are?
She's just excited to get going.
More so than concerned about the down payment, which you are. Yeah.
So
Correct.
what does the payment process look like for this build? When is all the money due?
Well, we haven't started anything yet. And so I would like to save 100, hopefully get 200 out of our house, and then maybe go 350 total, and then just have 50 left to finish up when we're all done.
Mm-hmm. What do you make?
Which we could
What's your household income?
about 100.
Okay. So you're talking about a $350,000 build. Okay. And you got 40. How long does it take you to get to 100 if we went your way? Went with your goal?
A little over a year.
Mm-hmm. So we're not arguing about 60. We're arguing about a year.
Right.
She wants to go now. You want to go in a year.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Which means that if we go her way, you end up with a $100,000 mortgage, not a $50,000 mortgage.
Yes.
Or a $110,000 mortgage to be precise, right? Am I doing all this correctly, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And how sure are you this home is going to cost $350,000?
Not sure. That's just the goal that we'd like to keep it under.
Do you have a blueprint?
No, we haven't started anything.
Do you
yet.
have a builder?
We have nothing, just discussions.
Do you own the land?
We have family land set aside.
Okay. Sidebar before
we haven't
sidebar before we
purchased
keep
anything
going. Family land set aside means that there needs to be a plat that is deeded to you, and you
Correct.
have the right to sell it someday if you all don't want to live there anymore. Otherwise, don't
Yes,
do this deal.
Right.
You don't build your house on Daddy's land or your house on a lot that Daddy gave you off his land, and he says you can never sell it. Neither one of those those are both deal killers.
It would be purchased.
Okay, and you would own it. Oh, wait a minute. What does the land? The land is part of the 350?
Yes.
Okay, and then you would have full rights, emotionally, relationally, legally, to sell it later if you want to.
Yes.
Okay. I've taken that call a lot in the last 30 years. Someone that's stuck in a piece of property because everybody's going to be mad if they sell their own house.
Right.
Don't do that. All right. Now, all right, back to the deal. So the land is how much?
40,000
And that's included in the 350, did you say, or not?
included. Yes.
Okay. All right. We think, but we really have nothing to base this on except square foot, and you think you're going to build X square feet. I would tell you this. I'm in the middle of building a house right now. It took us 9 months from the time we decided we wanted to get a blueprint, a builder, and a budget completed. I mean, from day one, and I've done it before. So I'm guessing that you can start on the process now, and it's probably going to take you close to a year.
Then you'll have that 100.
Yeah. Or not.
Okay.
I mean, it may take you 9 months, and then you split the difference, right? But I think you can go ahead and get started, because here's what's going to happen. When you start drawing this house and you actually start talking to builders and you actually start getting bids, you're going to find out your numbers are wrong.
Right.
Or they change. And I doubt they change down.
Right.
You got to watch the scope creep thing here.
Yeah, my fear is this thing is double what you thought it was going to be, and now we got to relook at, is this the right next move, or do we just buy a place?
Yeah, so
that's already built?
I think you got bigger issues than when to start. Okay, you need to go. You can start today on looking at builders and looking at blueprints and getting it dialed in. And once all of that's done, if it's not been a year, and you've got everything dialed in and you really can still do the numbers that you come up with, the real numbers, not hopeful numbers, then we can say, all right, I still don't want to start then. And what I would recommend, back to your original argument, is just split the difference. Just, instead of a year or starting now, let's say 6 months. And by then, believe me, it's going to be 6 months at least.
I don't think we're starting next week on this build anyway. So
we're not.
We got some time.
Or not. Builders aren't working as much right now, so you probably can find one that'll give you some attention. That's
because of the rates?
That's a good thing.
Just slowed down a little bit?
Well, very few specs going up. If builders that are working are doing customs. And so very few home starts on specs because the market's really slow with the high interest rates. Prices have held firm and have gone up in most cases, depending on the market. But the build rate, new home starts are down, way down. And specs have just about disappeared in most markets.
Wow.
So, which is not a bad thing. It's okay, except that except there's no freaking inventory. But for Brian, it's a good thing because he's probably going to get some good attention.
Yeah, versus
builder and subs are going to be available.
Going a million miles an hour. You don't want someone rushing through that home build.
Well, and you got 73 other clients instead of just, you may be his prize client right now. It's possible.
Now, on the financing side, how would you suggest Brian goes through with this? Because there's different ways when you're working with a builder to finance it.
Well, if it's $50,000, he probably can go over to the credit union and just get a loan. Simple. If it's going to be 100, 110, 150, then he's probably looking at a formal construction loan, and he'll have to get an appraisal on the plan. The builder, the general contractor, obviously license will have to be shown to get the appraisal, and then they'll do that and you'll have to get your approved for your permanent mortgage, and they give you a letter called a takeout letter, which means that they will be there to take out the construction loan at completion. The permanent mortgage will.
It'll convert over to a conventional
And you
loan.
can do all of that with Churchill Mortgage. Every bit of that, if you want to. But if you've got a little small loan, like a $50,000 out of $400 or $50 out of $350, probably just your credit union. They'll just make you a loan, like a personal loan almost.
Yeah.
They're not going to put a lot of regulation on that. Not going to require the takeout letter. Not going to require an appraisal. Not going to usually. But if you get up there over 100, then you're going to have a construction loan.
I just rewatched The Big Short over the weekend. With this whole mortgage crisis, man, it puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
How wild things were back in those days.
Yeah. There was just The Big Short's all about all the fraud that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just people making up appraisals, and we got a whole new list of appraisal regulations in as a result of what happened in that movie. Yeah, a whole different world. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate, plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Thanks for being with us, America. We're here to serve you. Our joy comes when we can show you what to do, and then you actually go do it, and it causes you to win. Bing, bing. That's how that works. That's what this has been about for 30 plus years now, and it continues to be. Jody is with us in Springfield, Illinois. Hi, Jody. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there.
Hey, what's up?
I'm kind of embarrassed to ask this question, but I am a 50-year-old widow who has been widowed for 15 years. I have helped put my children through college, and I have no retirement. So I am ready to start retirement, and I don't even know where to begin and how much to put in.
There's nothing embarrassing about any of that. It sounds like
good. You make me feel good.
Sounds like you're a wonderful person. We just need to get on the ball, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you make?
I make about, I was just sitting here figuring this out. I bring home about $36,000 take home a year.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So your income's somewhere around in the low 40s, maybe 45. Yeah. All right. What do you do?
I am a social worker.
Okay. All right. And do you have any debt?
I do not.
Your house is paid for?
Yes.
Well, that's great news.
That means most of your income can go toward investing. So you have zero saved right now, right? What do you have in the bank?
Well, here's what I have. I have my emergency fund of $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I have my 3 months. I have 3 months of my for my, in case something happens. But that's about all I have at this point. So I'm on the Dave Ramsey boat. I'm scared. It's to a point to where sometimes I cry because I'm like, what am I going to do?
Mm.
Because I don't know, because when my husband passed away, I used like the life insurance and all that kind of stuff to pay my house off. So, we had a roof over our head and all that kind of stuff because my kids were 7 and 10 when all of this happened.
Wow. Well, you've had a lot of life happen.
It's been hard.
I totally understand.
We've had a lot.
We're not here to beat you up. We want to give you some good next steps to take. And if you're following the baby steps now, that puts you at baby step 4 because you have no debt, a fully funded emergency fund. And really it's step 7 because you have a paid for house. And so now the kids their school's paid for. We got to put our own mask now, put our own mask on. And that looks like investing for retirement as aggressively as possible. Do you have a retirement plan through your employer?
Here's what I have, and I didn't know what route to go, but there's a 403B.
Okay.
I don't know much about that. I've kind of looked,
Do they have a match?
No.
Okay. I would not do that then. I would first do... Okay. I mean, I may do some there, but we would first do a Roth IRA. Okay.
Just a plain Roth, not a traditional Roth.
A Roth. So what I want you to do is go to RamseySolutions.com and click on SmartVestor and get a SmartVestor Pro in your area to sit down with you, and they can help you run some calculations. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. You bring home $3,000 a month. You do not have any bills except survival bills. You have no debt, no rent, no nothing, okay?
Correct.
If you were to invest $1,000 a month for 15 years, at 65, you're going to have right around $500,000, right around $500,000.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. What this means is not that you're rich, and it's really not enough, but it's enough to make sure you're not cold and hungry.
Right.
Because it will produce then, let's just reverse engineer this, which is very interesting. Okay. Let's pretend it produced 10% a year on the mutual funds after that, and that you retired and had no retirement income. And I suspect you probably have a retirement with your government agency, don't you? That they furnish you? A pension?
Yeah, actually, my husband, I get a pension off of him, but that thing...
but do you get a pension from your work when you retire?
No.
Huh, okay.
It's just Social Security I pay into.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is horrible, but that's okay. All right. So if you had $500,000 at 65 or 67 or whatever, and it was invested at 10%, 10% of $500,000 is $50,000 a year.
Right.
without touching the nest egg, without touching the goose, it will lay 50,000 golden eggs a year.
Wow.
And so you'd actually be making more at retirement than you are now. So,
No kidding.
so you're going to be okay. That's the point. You're not going to be rich, but even if my numbers are off a little bit, and they might be one way or another, actually they probably are off in this case because you probably will not be making $36,000 for the rest of your life. You'll probably be making more, and so you could invest probably more later. Agreed?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So I did that based on $1,000 in your current income. So.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to sit down with a SmartVestor Pro, and we don't know how the scenarios will compare to actual life, but you can run some scenarios like I just did just to get the idea that I don't have to cry.
I know.
Because if you'll start now, Jody, and you'll start investing close to $1,000 or more than $1,000 a month, you get your budget tight and you do that, you're going to be okay. Matter of fact, you're going to be better than okay.
That makes me cry just being happy.
Yeah. So I want you to sit down, but it also needs to make you get on the budget and do it. It also means you to get on the phone and get on with those SmartVestor Pros and go sit down with them and learn, and let's get this stuff started. Not next week, not next year, now.
Now, okay.
Right now.
I'm on it.
Yeah, and because every day you put this off, it gets harder. If you put it off a year, it's going to take $1,200.
Yeah.
Don't put it off anymore. You put it off as long as you can. The fuse is burning. So I want you scared enough that I scare you into action, but I don't want you terrified anymore so you're paralyzed.
I got it. I'm on it. I'm doing it today.
I love you. You're awesome. Call us back and let us know how it's going, okay?
Okay. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sweet lady.
Love that. She just needed a little motivation that she's not doing as bad as she thought she was, and the time to start is today.
What's interesting about what we do for a living when we talk about getting out of debt or we talk about building wealth, numbers actually give you a result that gives you hope. When you run math, okay, I got $100,000 in debt. I'm never going to get out. Well, it's $33,000 a year for 3 years. I mean, it's $2,600 a month, and you make $150,000. Shut your whining up. All of a sudden the numbers give you hope, right? Yeah. The math gives you hope. In her case, it's $1,000 a month, and for the next 15 years. And not missing a month and getting started immediately and getting good returns and good mutual funds, which probably that 403B does not have. That's why I directed her away from that. Let's go first to the Roth IRA.
With more control, more options.
A lot better options, a lot better mutual fund options out there. Now, I can be off, and if y'all want to argue with my numbers, that's fine, argue with my numbers. But here's the point. Get with it. And I might be, if I'm half wrong, she's still going to have $25,000, $26,000 a month coming in. Or $25,000, $26,000 a year coming in versus nothing, which your little plan you critic people out there creates. Nothing. That's what critics create. Nothing.
Well, the new one, Dave, is, $1 million isn't enough anymore, Dave.
That means $500,000 is half of not enough. But it's more than you got if you be broke and crying about it. Hello. So,
yeah, we'd love for you to have multiple millions, but I mean, in this case, you could see $500,000 would still change your life.
The only way she's going to get to over $1 million is she's going to raise her income substantially, so she could invest twice as much. Because $2,000 a month for 15 years at 12%. My mutual funds have averaged 12% for the last 30 years. My personal portfolio, and I'm not a genius. The market has averaged 11.8% in the S&P. So by God, shut up and go do it. So could you end up with $1 million in 15 years? Yeah, it's $2,000 a month. That's it, roughly. I mean, there it is. Ding, ding. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Dr. John Deloney here with some great news. You get to choose. Whatever you do, good or bad moving forward, the choice is yours. And when you're intentional about making good choices over time, they become healthy habits, like choosing to slow down and make time for a daily practice of prayer and meditation. One thing that has helped me with a daily practice of meditation and prayer is Hallow. Hallow is the #1 prayer app in the world, and they're giving you 3 months free to get started. That's 3 months free to prioritize your mental health and be intentional about finding peace through calming music, prayers, meditation, and more. And Hallow isn't just Catholic. You can tailor the content towards your faith tradition. If you don't have a faith tradition, this is a great place to learn more about it. From scripture readings and prayers to journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice mindfulness, build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life, and choose peace. Remember, Hallow is giving you 90 days free. Imagine the peaceful habits you can establish in 90 days. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today and follow the simple prompts to start your free 90-day trial. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So our team handed me this. This is cool, George. In March, Andrew came and did a debt-free scream with me, and Dr. John Deloney was on the air. And we celebrated him paying off $303,000 in 49 months.
Wow.
His student loans, car debt, home improvement loan, credit card, and a house, paid off his home. And then we get an email from him that he had a chance to go back to his alma mater, his high school, to one of our Foundations in Personal Finance classes, Warsaw High School. And he put this quote on Facebook, 2009 WHS grad. Oh, that's what they put on there. Andrew returned to his alma mater today to chat with the senior financial planning class about his financial journey and becoming debt-free. He completed the Dave Ramsey class and paid off his debt. This class is also completing the high school version of Financial Peace University. Thanks for coming, Andrew, which is called Foundations in Personal Finance. Very cool.
Oh, what a great poster child. These kids are going, oh, I got to watch another video. And then they're seeing this guy
who was from their high school,
who
graduated from sat at the same desk they sat,
who has no payments in the world.
Yeah.
At a very young age.
100% debt free. Wow. Ding, 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 house and everything. And go in and tell the high school seniors it can be done. That's how we do it.
There's some social proof.
Yeah, we've got the Foundations in Personal Finance high school curriculum that now 6 million students have been through since we started it. It's been in 48% of the high schools. It's currently in like 40% of the high schools. And more states are now making personal finance mandatory.
I love it.
And so we've been adopted by, for instance, the Texas the Texas State School Board, or the adoption process to adopt the curriculum. And we were just adopted in Florida.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
A couple months ago.
It's a big one.
So Florida's got a big push, brand new push. Texas has had it for a while, and they've got their second push coming to get all the seniors before they graduate through, our kids before they graduate at some point as a senior or junior, whatever, through a personal finance curriculum. And we have the largest, most successful one, and Florida just adopted ours as well. Now, they've got other brands that they can do, but so now each of the local school boards are selecting whether they're going to use Ramsey or whether they're going to use something else. But really excited about it, and happy to be in Florida. Thanks, Florida. We appreciate you. And actually, I got to meet the state senator. We were down there doing an event in Orlando.
I remember that. I got to meet him.
You were in the green. You met him too. He was in the green room.
It was incredible.
And that sponsored the bill that got passed in Florida to make personal finance a mandatory. It's not elective. A mandatory class for graduation at a certain date in Florida high schools, and that precipitates then the high school curriculum. Our personal finance curriculum is getting adopted, and we're one of the high school approved adopted curriculums in Florida. So excited about that. So if you're around one of the Florida school boards, or you're a teacher or whatever, and you want to push for our curriculum being in your school, we would appreciate it. And way to go, Andrew. Thanks for going back to your school. I don't know where Washoe High School is, but it's not on this, but it's pretty cool. that a guy does that and goes back and speaks to the class with it.
Everyone going, they don't teach this stuff in school. I'm like, we do now.
Yeah,
we're in half the high schools.
It is in a bunch of the states now. And that's obviously have been doing it a very, very long time, very successfully. We meet all the benchmarks. We've got a Ramsey Education Solutions department here that we've been running for, I don't know, almost 20 years now. And the guys and gals in that department that put this curriculum together that we use in the high schools are from the education world. And so our stuff is the easiest for teachers to operate because the lesson plans are done, the testing is done right. It's all built out to where it's as low lift as possible.
Those former teachers going, I wish this is how it was created.
I wish everything was created this way because our guys are putting it, and it meets all the educational benchmarks and legalities and so forth that we have to meet in order to be in a public school system. And so we do every bit of that. And man, we're just thrilled. So many people are getting able to do this, and this is cool that Andrew did that. That's a lot of fun. Isaac is with us. Isaac is in Huntsville, Alabama. Hi, Isaac. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks for having me. How are y'all?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So my wife and I are fixing to be going through our first divorce, and she's going to keep the house that we currently have, and thanks to a wonderful support system, I'm going to be able to move back in with my parents while I get back on my feet. And at this point, I'm just wondering, kind of what's next? How do I start over from here? What should be the correct step I take?
How old are you?
Sorry.
I am 32 years old.
How long were y'all married?
About 5 years or so, maybe.
Mm-hmm. You have children?
A 5-year-old son, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Huh. What do you make?
About $33 an hour, about $4,000 take home a month.
Okay. Well, to answer your question, you're just going to start laying out a game plan to build enough financial life that you move into this next chapter, right? I mean, first goal would be to get on your feet enough that you had a little bit of money saved and you go get an apartment, right?
Right.
I mean, this obviously your parents are providing a safety net, not a hammock.
Correct.
And so you're just passing through. And that's, like you said, that's a wonderful thing, and I'm not upset about that at all. But I would give myself a number of months, like 3 or 6 months or something, and say by then I'm going to have enough saved to have deposits and get an apartment, get my own place, get some furniture, get restarted in terms of like almost as if you were moving out after high school or college, right?
Right.
And then you once you've kind of got a standard of living set and a place to live, then you start doing the baby steps, and you make sure you get out of debt, and you build an emergency fund, and you start investing, and you're going to figure out that there's another chapter to this life after 32 years old, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this setback is going to be a comma, not a coma. So keep that in your mind. This is temporary. You're going to have a whole other life on the other side of this thing. This doesn't define you, but it will refine you. And so now's the time to make some choices that will set us up for the next 10 years. So do you know, as the dust settles, what the financial picture looks like as far as child support, alimony, the house?
Debt?
So I will be taking the car that she's currently driving, and she's going to take the car that I'm currently driving because it's paid off. And the car that I will be getting is not, I owe somewhere around $21,000 on it. Mm-hmm. The way we've worked everything out between us, everything's very amicable. So it's going to be uncontested. So the way we have it worked out, no child support, no alimony or anything. It's all going to be, we both put in everything we can for him.
And she's keeping the house, and you're not getting any money out of the house deal?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer, and I'm certainly not a lawyer in Huntsville, Alabama. I don't think a judge is going to approve a divorce decree that does not include child support.
Okay.
You probably need some legal advice, not to create a stink, but I think you're going to be under the law in most states required to do something for the kid from a legal perspective. I know you were going to from a moral perspective. But I think I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So you need to check that out because I had fireworks go off in my head.
But it can't just be handshake agreements.
I don't think it can be. You check me out. I could be wrong. Okay. So the house. What's the payment on the house?
$550 a month.
What does she make?
Bring home is about $2,000 a month.
Okay. She's going to struggle with that. And your name's name's still on the mortgage. And if you try to have a new life 5 years from now and she hasn't paid the bills on time, then your credit is going to have been damaged. So I'm not sure this is a great plan, brother. I know it sounds like it's all nice. It's all nice until it's not. And then when she gets in trouble, loses her job, you end up paying the house payment for somebody you ain't married to anymore because you're still on the mortgage. This is The Ramsey Show. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Johnny is with us in Irvine, California. Hi, Johnny. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Great. Well, I'm calling to see what you guys would do if you were in my shoes. I'm 22 years old. I fully support myself. I take home about $5,000 per month. I have zero debt. I have $60,000 in savings, a $3,000 emergency fund. And I've been listening for the past year or so, and some of my friends and mentors are into long-term real estate investing. So I've been saving toward that for the past couple of years. Ideally, I'd like to start building some long-term wealth. And so I just wanted to see what you guys would do if you were in my shoes.
Wow. You are beyond ahead of the game. Well done. Very well done.
Thank you.
Well, I probably have a different view on real estate investing than your mentors.
Sure.
And I probably own more than they do, given that I own about $600 million worth. Okay. But anyway, I do not believe in borrowing money, Johnny, because you've heard that listening to the show, and I don't for my real estate investing. I pay cash for it. And so the first real estate investing I did, and I've always loved real estate, that I did after going broke and starting completely over, and with this new I don't borrow money thing as a part of the guidelines, was I didn't do real estate investing at first. I just started piling money in mutual funds. And when I got enough in an index fund, is what I used, an S&P 500 index fund, it took me about 5 years to buy my first income-producing property. I paid cash for it. And then I took all of those rents, net of expenses, and any other money I could, and I threw it in an index fund. until I had enough to buy another property. And then I took all the rents from the 2 properties and any money I could scrape together from anywhere else, book royalties or whatever else, and I bought another property for cash. And every time I bought another property for cash, I had more cash flow to buy another property faster than I did the one before. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
That is a very long-term play versus what you have been considering until this phone call.
Sure.
Because you're thinking about getting up a down payment and going buying a nice little duplex in California.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm telling you to wait and pay cash for it, which your friends aren't going to like. And I don't really care. They're wrong.
That's true.
But you called knowing you were going to get a different take, which tells me you're actually interested in this take.
I am, yeah. I've just been curious what to do because I feel like I've been saving decently, and I'd like to continue that. But you know, once you get a certain amount of money, I feel like it burns a little bit of a hole in your pocket.
Yep.
You're ready to jump into it.
Yeah, and you've done really well, Johnny. I mean, let's face it. You're 22 years old. You have $60,000 in the bank and no debt at all, and you're making $5K a month. You're killing it. Ding, ding.
I appreciate that.
Very impressive.
And it doesn't sound like you lead a super luxurious lifestyle. You're a saver.
I try to be, for sure. There's a balance.
So the key is to keep living on less than you make.
What would be interesting if you want to be really nerdy, I don't know how nerdy you are, I'm real nerdy, is, and I've done this a couple of times, it always works, that's why I'm putting you up to it, is if you say, all right, when I'm 42, would I rather own $10 million worth of real estate with $8 million worth of debt? Or would I rather own $3 million worth of paid-for real estate?
Yeah, I think the clear answer is the $3 million.
Yeah, and then here's the exercise. Run out the purchase snowball, which is not a debt snowball, but the way I talked about a while ago. Rents, buy more, buy more, buy more, buy more. Everything's folded back into the next deal, and the slower start ends up with a faster end. The faster start ends up with a slower end. My way is slower start, but has a big time payoff at the end because it hockey sticks from an exponential mathematical equation perspective. Does any of that make sense?
Yeah, definitely it does.
Because when you get all this property that's sitting there paid for, you are buying more property faster than you would have if you had a whole bunch of property that's not even close to paid for and it's not cash flowing nearly as generously. So the math says I can buy more property faster now. It's ridiculous what my real estate fund now looks like from my real estate income. You know, now, because I'm at the back of the story, right? So, but I can't get people to think long term. And I might have just got one 22-year-old to do it, though.
I'm impressed. He sounded interested.
Yeah.
If we could just get off TikTok, we'll get there.
For real. Woo. Jake is in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hey, guys. It's an honor to speak with you. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. How can we help, sir?
Yeah, so I'm 35 years old, have no debt, and am about to step into baby step 6. And my question is, you talk about baby step 7, living and giving like no one else. I have no problem with the giving aspect of things. The part that is a little tricky for me to wrap my mind around is the living like no one else, because I am a pastor. And so to be stepping into baby step 7, hopefully here in the next 5 or 6 years, I'm trying to imagine life in my 40s, living like no one else while being a pastor and living in the community of people who pay for, who have paid for my financial success, you could say. I don't know how else you would put it, but how should I think through that as I look forward to the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. Well, don't muzzle the ox as he treads out the grain. You've probably read that scripture, right?
Yeah.
And a worker is worthy of his hire. You probably read that scripture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So are you a good pastor and you're worth what they pay you?
I sure hope so.
Okay. Then if you use that money wisely, in Christianity we would call that good stewardship, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
And I think you're modeling for those people what the results of good stewardship are, that it ends up with wealth. But we're taught by the by Karl Marx, not by Jesus, that wealth is evil. Wealth is not evil. People are evil. Particularly some of them in your church. I'm kidding. No. but not much. But yeah, anyway. So you're always going to have a hater whether you win or you lose if you do it at scale.
Yeah.
If you lose, you weren't a good steward, and you're horrible, and you worked your whole life, and you have nothing to show for it, and we call that being a good steward. That's not a good steward. That means you did a bad job handling your money. So you're supposed to model for your congregation how to be a good husband, how to be a good dad, right?
Right.
How to be a great leader. We're supposed to model in Christianity. It's called a witness. And yet when my friend Craig Rochelle says, why is it that wealth is the only blessing from God we're supposed to apologize for? And I've got several friends that are pastors that are a decade and a half ahead of you, and they're facing the exact same thing because they have systematically, carefully invested in their 401ks and in their Roth IRAs and in their retirement programs, and some of them have bought real estate carefully, and they don't have jet airplanes. They're not on TV. You know, it's none of that junk. They're just good guys as a pastor, and they've been careful with their income. And most of them are millionaires because they did the stuff I teach. But now there's always some doober that says, well, a pastor should never be a millionaire. Yeah, that's what I want. I want my pastor to be broke and stupid. No, I don't either. I want pastor should never, listen, I want my pastor, I want his marriage to be something I can look up to. I want his kids to be something I can look up to. I want the way he handles money to be something I can look up to. Because obviously the book he is reading has having an effect on his life, and I want to know more about what that book called the Bible says then. But not if you're out, but you're always going to be criticized, Jake.
Whether it's about your message or the car you drive, there's going to be someone out there.
And, you have to if you're a Christian, you have to drive a used Accord because that's what Jesus said. They were all in one accord.
Oh, that one still gets me.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, George Camel here. If you love the show and you want a deeper dive on your money journey, we've got a weekly newsletter that gives you helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for the newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jenna George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. He's also the co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour and the host of the George Camel Show on YouTube, which is exploding, by the way, one of our more popular Ramsey Network launches in the last year. Jenna is with us. Jenna is in Seattle, Washington. Hi, Jenna. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
You too. What's up?
So I have a situation that feels complicated to me, but likely not to you guys, which is why I'm calling. I am the sole provider for my family and am self-employed as a therapist, a mental health therapist in private practice. And I make good money, over $200,000 a year, and am over 10 years it's been amazing. But I'm paid pretty irregularly, mostly by insurance companies, and I usually know by like Sunday evenings kind of what my deposits are going to look like, but they tend to be slightly different each week. And then I also get kind of random payments, like, co-payments from patients or just kind of paper checks. It's just, I don't have like it's sort of predictable, but like also not predictable.
How long have you been doing this?
how long have I been doing this? Over 10 years, actually.
Okay. So over the course of a year, it's very predictable. Over the course of 6 months, it's fairly predictable. Over the course of 1 week, it's not.
Correct.
Okay.
So give us some rough estimate here.
What's your question?
So we're struggling to budget as far as the kind of grocery shopping weekly versus monthly, like just kind of really trying to understand our money better. We've kind of banked on we just make good money, and so money just sort of disappears. And I'm trying to do better. My husband and I are trying to do better. My one caveat question I want to throw him under the bus is he also refuses to drop the coffee stand and wants to keep it in the budget. And I want to nix it from the budget. So I want you guys to give me some...
you mean buying a cup of coffee at a coffee stand?
Correct.
This is not your problem.
No, it's not my problem.
You need to lose that battle and win the war.
He needs a budget line item for his coffee.
He gets his coffee, and we get a budget together that we both work on that accomplishes our overall goals. Coffee is not keeping you from doing that.
I agree.
So, all right, that one's under the bus. You lose, he wins. Next. All right, George, how do we do an irregular income?
So the simplest way to look at this is look at what a low month would be for you guys. We know it's not going to be zero, right?
Correct.
So what would be a low month?
A low month would be $12,000.
Okay, so we start there. We'll input that in the budget, and when more money comes in, we'll just add that income into the budget on the income side. Got me?
Okay. Yes.
Then on the expense side, we're going to do it a little differently because it's irregular. We're going to make a prioritized spending plan. So let's have our four walls. We got to cover the bills, the rent, the mortgage, all of that stuff first. Food on the table.
You should have
insurance.
a set food budget that is fixed, that easily fits within $12,000, and it should not have to change based on the irregularity of the income.
Okay.
Other things will change based on the irregularity, but not food.
Okay.
Because it's first.
Now, are you at risk of running out of money even on that bad month of $12,000, or are you just trying to go, hey, we should be saving more with all of our expenses?
Yeah. Well, no, we're not at risk of running out of money. I just don't feel like we're throwing enough at our snowballs. We have...
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, we're not at risk of running out of money as far as our needs go. I just feel like after that, it sort of just disappears.
Gotcha.
But it's not disappearing into the coffee stand. There's other places, other money leaks.
Well, it's what she's saying, I think, and I don't put words in your mouth, is it's disappearing into the disorganization and the chaos. And I want to get a handle on this so I can feel like I'm doing a good job.
Correct. It's like 1 week I'll pay the Comcast bill, and then the next week I'll pay, a different bill, and I just don't feel like I'm organized enough. And so I feel like, I want to have a better understanding. And I was thinking similarly what you were saying, if I just created an idea budget and then whatever kind of comes extra, I could even just throw out our snowball.
If you can live on the $12,000 without touching it, and you do everything you need to do, you could run a budget on $12,000, and every extra dollar above that goes to your debt snowball. That's an easy fix.
Okay.
If you need $13,000 to live, but 12 is your low, then you've got to add 1,000 to those last few things before you start the debt snowball. That's what Georgia's saying.
Yeah, so including our business expenses, we need about $9,000 to live, $9,000 to $10,000 to live.
Okay, your business needs to be running separately.
Yeah. The business is running separately. So our household.
No. Stop. You don't have it included. Okay, it's not running separately if it's included. Hello. So here's the thing: we run a business budget, and then when we bring money home from our net profits after paying the business expenses, then we work with that. So your business expenses run what?
My business expenses monthly is only $2,300 a month.
Okay. All right. So you actually have a low of $9,700.
Yes.
Because you're not bringing home that $2,300.
Correct.
Okay. So, so that based on what we're doing, you need to have that separated out and keep it completely separate. Run a separate set of books, separate checking account, separate everything for the business.
We actually give ourselves a weekly paycheck. We give ourselves.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You got, and then you need to cash out the rest of the profits beyond your weekly paycheck and beyond your expenses out of the business account over into the personal account. But the same principle will still work. because the same math applies. I just split it apart, so. Okay, so you're still okay. 9,700 will still do it if 2,300 stayed at the office. You can still do it on 9,700, and everything else will go to the debt snowball and then some. So in the 9,700, some of it's going to the debt snowball, but it's just how much more we put on the debt snowball. And every dollar premium will cause you to be able to do that. We've got a thing in there called paycheck planning that works really well for the irregular income, and you and your husband can sit down together and lay the whole thing out on the app or on the desktop, whichever you choose to do with every dollar, and it'll lay all out. And we'll give you 3 months free and get you started on the every dollar premium, okay?
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right. Hang on. We'll have the team pick up and give you 3 months for every dollar premium, because that'll do it perfectly.
Oh, yeah. And it'll help him see, where's all this money going? What did we decide we were going to do this month?
Yeah. And then the only choice you're making is $8 or whatever the flipping coffee is. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, $8 is not going to get you out of debt. But you are going to start looking at everything, including the coffee.
You'll see how much money you're wasting.
How much more can we throw? How far are we going to cut our lifestyle versus the debt we have versus the $200,000, well, not really, $175,000 income that we have. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now to get up to 50% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. I was just telling George a story, and Austin, you need to hear this too. In 2012, I took a call here on the air from a guy who had a side hustle, and he said, I love my side hustle more than I like my job. When can I quit my job and do the side hustle? I want to double down. My parents say I'm crazy for doubling down. My wife says I'm half crazy for quitting my job. He was a pharmacist, so he'd spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting to be a pharmacist. And he said, I want to quit pharmacy. I want to go into this whole other side of things in the gun industry. And I'm like, okay, so I'm a gun guy, so I'm talking to him and listening to him. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So I said, how much do you make? And he said, I made $65,000 on my side hustle. How much you make as a pharmacist this year? This is 2012. He said, $60,000. I said, well, double down. I'm on your team. If I would advise your wife that you should go after this. It's what you love. It's your passion. I would advise your mom and dad that they're very sweet, but they're wrong, and that you should go after this. So a couple of weeks ago, I was out west, and I visited the guy's business. He did $70 million last year.
That hurts my brain. Wow.
And he acts like I did it. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I talked to you for 5 minutes. You've worked for 11, 12 years on your business. You built your business. I didn't build your business. I'm so proud of you, though. I'll take credit for lighting a fire, but dude, you burned the forest down, man.
That is
way
wild.
to go. Way to go, man. That's pretty cool. We don't always get to hear the
other side.
follow-up 11 years later to taking some of you guys' calls out here. So some of you ought to tell us if we screwed it up 12 years later, or if
Tell
we
us
got
if
it,
you
if we
made
got it
70
right,
million.
or whatever. Yeah,
Goodness.
pretty
Good
cool
for him.
Pretty cool. I'm impressed with him. Sharp young guy too. Obviously, Todd is in Fort Wayne. Hey, Todd, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I've got a quick question for you. Back in 2009, 2010, when there was a big recession that we all heard about, my business went in pretty deep. And since then, I've paid back everybody I can and taken care of all that. But I've got one credit card that went after me in 2000 through collections. And it took me to I guess you call it small claims court, because I got a letter for a judgment against me. But at that time, I was still trying to keep my head above water.
How long ago was the judgment?
It was 2015, August of 2015.
Okay, so 8 years ago. Okay.
Was the first one, yes.
The first one?
Yeah, the amount was about, I don't know, $2,000 to $3,000. But, of course, with all their fees, that judgment was for $8,000. Round numbers. And anyway, I just got another certified letter today. I didn't know how to contact these guys. I just knew it was out there, but they've added $2,000 to it. Anyway, it says they have 14 days to congest. I'm assuming a court hearing. I didn't know the first time I could do that, but do I just?
I don't think they get to have a court hearing on this one.
Okay.
Because it's gone too long.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do a little. Let's learn a couple things here. Number one, you owe these people some money, and you're not disputing that. Agreed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the original balance was what?
I don't know for sure. It was like $3,000 or something, but with their fees, the original.
No, I'm talking about fees. I'm talking about what you actually owe them.
Oh, the first one was $79.97, so $8,000.
No. That was with the fees.
Okay.
When you had a credit card, before it went to collections, the balance on the credit card was $3,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay. So here's the thing. If they said they've added another $2,000, so it's now $10,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a whole industry out there that most people don't even know is out there called debt buyers. And they buy old, bad, probably uncollectible debt. Probably uncollectible because the person has already filed bankruptcy and they don't get anything, but they still will buy the debt, sometimes not knowing that, or the debt has gone too long and it's past the statute of limitations in that county or that city or that town or that state, and so it's not collectible, which I think is probably the case with yours anyway. They probably get zero, technically, legally, but they buy old, bad debt. Now, let me tell you what they pay for it. A nickel on the dollar, maybe less.
Yeah.
So this guy calling you or certified lettering you is with a $10,000 bill likely has $250 to $500 invested in your account.
Okay.
That's good information if you're going to call him and offer him $3,000.
Yeah.
I want to do right by this debt. I'm willing to pay $3,000. That's all I'm willing to pay. If you want $1 more, I'm going to give that to a lawyer, and I'm going to fight you to the death because I don't think you can collect this at all because it's gone too long.
So this is a case. This letter's from our county courthouse or court. Does that make a difference?
Nope. It's not, the court didn't buy the debt. Some duper bought the debt.
Okay.
So the dupers brought you to the county courthouse. Is the duper's name on there?
Yeah, the collection agency, and there's a lawyer name on it.
The lawyer's who you call. Call the lawyer.
Okay.
Because here's the deal. They are not in the business. This is not like if I owed you money and you were pissed and got a lawyer and sued me.
Okay.
This is a conveyor belt at a factory, and it's the junkyard. It's not even a factory. It's a conveyor belt at the junkyard. And they're running like 9,000 parts a minute down the conveyor belt, and you're one tiny little part.
Okay.
All right. Let me give you another example just for fun, okay? A couple of Christmases ago, I decided to take advantage of this knowledge to do a fun charitable thing for our team. We bought 8,000 accounts from a debt buyer, totaling $10 million worth of debt. Our purpose in buying it was we were going to call all 8,000 people. We have 1,000 employees, so each of them got to call 8 people and tell them their debt is forgiven in Jesus' name for Christmas. So we bought $10 million worth of debt to do that for $259,000. 2.5 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, this is how this works. So that's who you're dealing with. You're one of 8,000 in a package. Only the package wasn't bought by me, so you got to go deal with the people. But it's still, I had 8,000 people that were in this one package for 2.5 cents on 2.59 cents on the dollar. All right, and that's how this industry works, man. So, and what do they want? They want more than they've got in it, because this is a business for them, not a charitable event. So they got $250 or $500 in your deal. You offer them $3,000, and you stand firm and argue with them about 30 times. They're going to take it, get it in writing. Do not give them electronic access to your checking account. Those two things are very important.
Okay.
So I think you should pay them what you owe them, which is $3,000.
Okay.
You got the $3,000?
Yep, I do.
Very cool. Does that tell you what you need to know?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
So they're hoping a few people in this giant pile will pay that $8,000 or $10,000 to make this whole operation work.
No, they never get it. 99% of the accounts aren't collectible. That's why they're worth nothing. Because, I mean, what are the chances of collecting on something from 2010?
13 years ago.
13 years ago. If you can even find the guy. I mean, they're just saying glory hallelujah that they even found him, right?
We had trouble making the calls.
We couldn't even
old cell phone numbers,
bad numbers. We had what? I bet you 1 out of 8 was probably bad, or 2 out of 8.
Yep.
The information we had with the accounts we bought were bad,
which tells you they had bad information when they bought it.
Well, yeah, because it's old. I mean, how many people got the same cell phone number 13 years later? And or whatever, the same address, and you don't send a change of address to people you owe money to. If you're on the run, so it doesn't happen that way. So it's an interesting world, but it's a very high number, low performance world. And if you'll keep that in mind when you're dealing with them, it's not personal. It's just a transaction for them. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want, without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Today's question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. Neighborly can help you find local service pros like the grounds guys, 5-star painting, and more to get your outdoor space ready for the cooler months. Download the Neighborly app today and get started.
Today's question comes from Steve in Minnesota. I'm 43 years old. I still have student loan debt, about $4,900. It was originally $24,000 back in 2010. This year in May, I went and got 2,130 hair graft transplants for about $13,000. Some I paid up front, and the rest I used a care credit card for $10,500. I owe about $5,000 on it now. I have $32,000 in savings. I've got about $10,000 in a 401k, and I make about $20 an hour. I didn't get enough hair grafts to cover the back top crown area. Should I go back for more hair transplant grafts to cover that area? Oh, Dave, this is a personal question that I think only you could answer. This is very personal.
Mean.
It's personal.
You're just mean. Hair jokes, George.
Well, you've bullied me for far too long, Dave. It's my time to get back. Oh, Steve. Okay.
Steve.
Well, the good news is Steve has some money, and he can clean up this debt today. I don't know why he's waited 13 years.
Yeah.
He has $32,000 in savings. Let's knock out the $10,000 in debt, and you'll still have $22,000 left. That covers an emergency fund, and that should cover some hair grafts.
So $32,000, $10,500 on the credit card.
He says he owes $5,000 on it now.
And then, okay. And then $5,000. So $10,000 clears up the student loan and the card, right?
Yep.
And that leaves him $22,000, right?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And then we need to ascertain what your emergency fund should be, 3 to 6 months of expenses. And if that is under $22,000, like say 15, then you would have 7 you could use towards other things. And if that's what you choose to do with your money, okay. Right?
Yeah.
But if your emergency fund should be $25,000, you need to finish your emergency fund before you do other things. Because until you're out of debt and have an emergency fund in place, we do not do elective surgeries.
That's a luxury.
It's a luxury. Well, I need bigger lips. No, the food's going in. You don't need bigger lips. The coffee's not spilling. You don't need bigger lips. Bigger lips are a luxury. Hair in the back is a luxury. Apparently, hair in the front is a luxury.
So he must have got just the front done, and that he's got this crown here that's still.
I mean,
missing.
if you're the hair transplant people, that was genius.
Hey, you'll have to come back for that one.
It leaves you with a guaranteed client for the back as soon as they get home and get a mirror.
The other question is, did they do a good job with the rest of it so far? Because maybe let's not go back.
My stomach is in my throat. This is killing me.
Ooh,
but yeah.
But I imagine it's a few more grand to finish it up if he's got the crown left.
Yeah.
I don't know how
I'm going to get in a lot of trouble if I'm not real careful here. But anyway, if this is what you want to do with your money, it should only be done. It's a choice. It's a luxury item. It's like buying a new couch or upgrading a car. It's done after your emergency fund is in place and you are debt-free. So you should write a check today, Steve, and pay off your student loan debt and your credit card. Is this real?
This is real.
Is this some guy spoofing?
I thought Austin was trolling us.
Somebody's punking us. And Austin let it through.
It's too specific to be punking at this point.
Well, it's a good way to punk.
He said he makes $19.60
If you're going to punk somebody,
an hour.
you give great detail. Like, I just don't have enough hair grafts in the back.
He told us how many hair grafts, 2,130.
I know, but that's how you punk somebody.
Very specific.
That's what causes us to bite on it. Well, we bit on it, and so we're pretending like it's real.
I think someone wanted to know your take on hair transplant grafts.
That's just, no, they didn't. Obviously, they know my take on hair transplant. All they got to do is just pull up a
Dave
picture.
says not worth the money.
Well, it's just, yeah.
You've been cutting your own hair for a few decades now.
Yeah.
It's easier that way. The amount of money you've saved, though, compared to me,
I just
is
grew up
mind-blowing.
in a different place and a different time where we enjoyed getting old, and we is what we is. So we didn't constantly be poking and prodding at ourselves. But it's a different time.
Well, back then it was just like a toupee. There weren't many options.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a bad toupee or nothing.
Yeah, like something out of a movie from the 70s, yeah. But
I figured that the person with the lowest hair maintenance and the highest hair maintenance in the studio
would have opinions.
Would have a great opinion on this.
Jade's not here.
Touche.
Boom, roasted Jade.
Hey, Jade spends more time on her hair than you do.
That's
I promise you.
I've got this down to a science.
She's got more stuff going on, from the Predator look to the twisted up on top look to the whole thing. She's got more looks.
I'll tell you
than
this:
do,
I haven't spent $13,000 on my hair, so there's a bonus.
Yeah, all of us together have not spent $13,000 on our hair. So.
That's a lot. I would just start wearing hats or just let it ride, man. I mean, you got a great head for it, Dave.
Oh.
Not everyone has that.
See,
gift.
George, you're trying to dig out now. You're trying to dig out.
I'll never dig out.
Get you a shovel, buddy.
This is my last show, America. It's been good.
Get you a shovel, buddy.
It's been fun.
Yeah, you and Austin. Austin brings in the hair joke email.
It's an alley-oop.
And you just you do the stuff with it, right? You just stuff the thing, right? Yeah. All right. Let's move on while I still have my job. All right. Sarah is in Nashville. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, so I work 2 jobs. I work a full-time job, and then I also work a part-time job. My question is, should I, or is it okay for me to quit my part-time job, even though I'm in baby step 2? The reason I'm wanting to quit it is basically because I'm working it all the time. I'm trying to be gazelle intense and all, but I am not having a good time, and I want to pursue, other things to eventually go into that. So,
what are you saying?
Basically, I want to, in the long run, get into music, and I am in Nashville, so it's the perfect place to do that.
You want to get into music, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But.
And what's your part-time gig now?
I'm in retail.
Okay. All right. Well, that's like most of Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you get the next country music star's attention in Nashville? Waiter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's they're everywhere. I've got 3 people that were on The Voice working for me, and they ain't doing voice, I'm telling you. So, but anyway, it's everywhere. And I'm not saying you can't do it. You should do it. But how much debt do you have left?
I have about $50,000, and it's student loans.
Okay. And when will, at your current rate with Gazelle Intensity, when will that be done?
About 2-ish years.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
28.
Okay. How many hours a week are you working now?
About 15 hours.
Extra?
So, mm-hmm.
And plus a 40-hour job?
Yes.
Okay. So where do you work on Saturday night? At retail? Retail's not open.
Yes, correct. So I'm not working.
Yeah, where do you work on Friday night? Not at retail. It's not open.
Well, I work the retail job Monday through Friday after work, and they close about 9
all right. So you
o'clock.
don't have a Saturday gig. Okay.
Yeah.
So sing on Saturday.
Yeah, so I guess it's a little bit complicated because I'm not into, the country music scene. I'm more into Christian
You're
music.
in Nashville, and you want to get into music. You want to be in the Christian music? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so how are you planning on breaking into it?
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. I'm more so thinking the social media route.
Okay, then I would do that on Saturdays.
Okay.
And I get plugged into a church where that music's happening as well.
Yeah, make sure you're in a good church that's musical, and they're doing a lot of good praise and worship stuff. And, Nashville's also the home of contemporary Christian music, for sure. Most of the artists live here that do that for a living. A lot of them are friends.
Okay.
The older ones are friends.
Your buddy Darren Tyler did a songwriting night at his church with a bunch of songwriters. So there's stuff like this happening in the community all the time.
Yeah, you can do all of that and still keep your retail job. You just got to give up partying on Saturday. Oh, wait a minute. You're doing this from a Christian perspective. Maybe partying isn't the problem. You got to shut down the prayer group on Saturday night and go do something else.
It's my kind of party.
Yeah, that's it. So, I think you can find the time, Sarah, and I think it's a short-term play to get out of debt. Let's get out of debt. Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y-Refi. They're not a debt settlement company, and they're not connected to a bank. Y-Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y-Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Walt is in Buffalo, New York. Hey, Walt, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
Actually, I had two questions, but the young lady on the screener told me I could only ask one, so I figured I'd mention it, and maybe you guys let me squeak in, too. My wife and I have been on the baby steps since November of 2022. We made it all the way to step 3. And almost immediately after that, we had to use a couple $1,000s of our emergency fund. We have $4,000 in a high-yield savings account that's earmarked for kids' college. He's 10 right now, and we're wondering if we should take the $2,000 from that 4 to fill the emergency fund back up.
I would. Because it's not in a college fund. It's just earmarked. You have two accounts. One of them you got named college, but you got a 10-year-old. You got plenty of time to build their college savings, and doing it in a 529 and so forth. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah. Simple enough. I mean, it's liquid. You're not going to pay any penalties. So if you told me it was in a 529, I'd say don't touch it.
Yeah.
But you'll be fine there, and you'll have time to fill it back.
Or if it had been there for 20 years or something, and the kid was 7. I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but you got a lot of time, and it's just a right pocket, left pocket thing. And then just, if you take it out of the right pocket, put it in the left pocket, then you got to go back to the right pocket and fill it up, which is baby step 5 anyway. Reminder, Walt, 4, 5, and 6 are done simultaneously.
Yep. So we're investing 15%. While we have that plate spinning, we begin to fund the kids' college. Then any money left over, we can throw onto the mortgage to pay that off early.
Yeah. So 4, 5, and 6, which is retirement savings, kids' college savings, and paying the house off early, we run simultaneously, but still in that order. 15% going into retirement, funding kids' college, which you're going to do immediately. You'll begin with that $2,000 that's left over and get an account open and get it moving. And then if you find more money in your budget, or as you find more money in your budget as you go along, let's pay off the house early. Elijah is with us in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Elijah. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Sure. What's up?
So me and my wife have a question, and it is, we are debt-free. We have an emergency fund. We've tried to do everything by the book, and both of us have 0 credit, and we are renting currently. Is there any way that we could one day buy a house without any credit? What is your advice?
Well, George did it.
Yeah, it's a fairly simple process. It's called manual underwriting. And what that is basically a no-score loan. And our friends at Churchill Mortgage have been doing this forever. But if you tell anyone about it, they'll say, no, you can't do that. And even if they say you can, they'll say, it's so much more expensive. It's such a headache. It'll take you forever. They're lying. They've never done it. So let me tell you from someone who's done it that it's simple, but you have to do it by the book like you mentioned. So you're going to want to have all the documentation, your verification of income, rental payment history, 12-month history of your bank statements, a tax return, things like that. And along with that, you need to have a good down payment. Have you guys started saving that up yet?
Yes. As soon as we finish building up our emergency fund, that's what we were going to start on.
Awesome. So I would aim to have a minimum of 10% if you're doing the no-score loan. 20% is even better to avoid that private mortgage insurance. What kind of budget are you looking for a house?
Right now, we're in North Carolina, and the housing market's anywhere from $100,000 or $200,000 to $300,000.
Great. So let's set that goal, and let's set a down payment savings goal. And as long as you can get that payment to be 25% of your take-home pay, if your after-tax income per month on a 15-year fixed, then you're ready to buy a home.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Again, Elijah, if you go to a traditional mortgage company or you ask your friends, they're all going to tell you that because they don't know how to do it, that can't be done. George did it. Jade did it. Dr. John Deloney did it. All of our Ramsey personalities have had 0 credit scores and gone and got mortgages. Okay, so it definitely can be done. We'll put a link to the Ramsey Solutions blog about this in the show notes. And so if you want to go back and pull that up out of the show notes, you'll be able to do that with a great detail on it. But really, George just gave it all to you. And again, selecting a mortgage company that knows what the flip they're doing.
That's important.
And most of them don't. Churchill Mortgage does know how to do this. Chaz is with us in Orlando. Hi, Chaz. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What's up?
So my question is, I'm 24 years old. Me and my fiance are getting married next February. I have 0 debt right now, and I have a nice little nest egg in the bank that I've been saving up. My question is, my fiance has some debt. Once we get married, do you recommend that I kind of use up most of my nest egg to pay off her debt? Or should we keep that nest egg in the bank and just keep pursuing paying off our debt now that we both have both incomes to pay it off?
What are we talking in the bank?
So right now I have about $34,000 in the bank, and then her debt is a little bit over $17,000.
Okay.
So it wouldn't totally wipe it out, but it's just, we both
now
like
through February,
it's just you know. No, I don't know. What do you mean you know?
But we just like to have it in the bank.
No, you do.
Just for yes.
You worked hard to save this money up, and it hurts emotionally to let it go for someone else's mistake.
Yeah.
That's okay to say out loud, but just know when you get married, you're signing up for that whole person's life, and it's our money. So now you have debt as well. It's our debt, and it's our income.
All of the mistakes you have made come with you. All of the mistakes she has made come with her. And the preacher will say, and now you are one mistake. So this is how this works, brother.
Are you that in love with her that you're willing to do this?
Oh, 100%.
All right.
Not even a second
When you
thought.
get home from the honeymoon, write a check and pay off her student loan.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Period. No question about it.
And she should be paying it down. We've got to save up for the wedding. Are you guys paying for it?
No, luckily her parents have blessed us with paying for the wedding.
Great.
So that's been a huge blessing for sure.
That's wonderful.
And she's paying it down. We've actually been taking your class through our church, and
good.
So she's already working it down every single day. But it looks like there might be a little bit left over once we get married, and so I was calling in to see what your opinion was on it.
So Chaz, here's the thing: if you called us up, you've listened to us, or you've been through Financial Peace University. If you called us up and said, "We're a married couple. We have $34,000 in savings, and we have $17,000 in a student loan," we instantaneously would tell you to pay that off, wouldn't we?
Yes, you would.
Okay. The only nuance here is that it's new, because the marriage will be at that time new. So that's the only nuance. And what you're facing here is you're really having to face this idea that we are going to combine our incomes, our dreams, our fears, our mistakes, our assets. We're going to combine everything, and we're going to become a whole new entity called a married couple. And this is forcing you to process the emotions of that, which, to George's point, are we poke fun, but they're very real. It's a very real emotion.
Yeah.
And so, but you've listened to us enough to know that if you were answering the question as you're driving along in the car while listening on talk radio, and someone else called in, you would be going, they're going to tell him to pay the loan off.
Yes, that's true.
So the only difference here is it wasn't an existing marriage couple. We're moving into it, and that's the only nuance to change. And,
a week ago,
and it happens to be your money this time rather than listening to someone else call in. That changes it too.
That's tough. But, the beautiful thing is you also get to build wealth together, and it is like exponentially greater when you have two people who are on the same page.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's what's called in sociological studies and economic studies that called the marriage advantage. There's several marital advantages. If you haven't ever read the research that's out there, health, males who are married live longer.
Wow.
Yeah, and couples who are married have a wealth and an income career and income advantage. Statistically, they make more money and they have more money, statistically. So it's called the marriage advantage research projects that are out there floating around. Very interesting to look at. So, yeah, you're right. This is going to go zoom, zoom. You're going to be fine. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's George Camel. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey. The phone number is 888-825-5225. Starting off this hour is Corey in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Corey. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So I got a question. I got $35,000 in credit card debt. I'm going through a divorce. She wants me to take another half of hers, and I'm struggling. I'm working 5 days a week. I drive truck as a local truck driver, and I just don't know where to even to start at.
Okay. How much debt do you guys have as a couple? You've got 35. How much does she have?
It'll be $65,000 total.
So she has another 30.
Yes.
Okay. And their car payments?
Yes, I have a car payment. My truck payment is $970 a month.
Good God! All right. And how much is her car payment?
Her car payment, I'm not too sure of that. We're going through a divorce and we're separated at this time.
Well, dude, you were married to her. Did you have the car then?
Yeah. Well, she had given me my car back. I had bought her a Lexus at the time, and she had given it back to me, stuck me with that and my truck payment, plus a motorcycle payment. And I was struggling, so I traded both of my vehicles in and ended up purchasing the truck I have now. I saved myself about $500 a month doing that.
Yeah, you didn't go far enough. All right.
No, I didn't.
All right. Okay, so the problem is we're working out all the debts before there's a deal cut.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you get something paid off or figured out, she hands you another one.
Yes.
Now, this has got to stop. You've already eaten a Lexus and a motorcycle, and now she wants you to eat 15 more of the debt the credit card debt that's in her name.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to. Do you guys have an attorney?
Yeah, we both have attorneys. I tried telling her she keep the house and everything we put into it. She keeps her debt, I keep mine. We'll go our separate ways, and she's not into it. She's not willing to work with me at all.
Okay, then I guess the judge is going to have to decide.
Right, and that goes February 7th. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in the meantime. I have an opportunity right now to buy my own semi and go over the road and make triple what I'm making now.
No, you need to get this cleared up before you do that, because she's going to end up with half the dadgum semi.
Right, that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
How much money do you have in the bank?
At this moment in time, I'm struggling, and that's what I have maybe $30 right now. I'm going through it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're not driving over the road now, or you are? You just cut out on me, man.
That's why we're going through the divorce. We drove team over the road together, me and her together. We were racking down $250,000 a year between us both. I was sticking mine in my 401k. She was spending hers, and that's another thing she's wanting. She's wanting half of my 401k also. Mm-hmm. And we weren't even married that long, 3 years, and she's entitled to everything I put in from the date of marriage to the date of divorce. Mm-hmm. Which it's not really a lot of money, but I worked for it, you know.
You guys have kids?
No kids, no.
Okay. So are you driving over the road now?
No, I'm local.
Okay. What do you make?
Right now I'm $33.22 an hour, and that is all straight pay.
And you've got an apartment?
Yes.
Okay. What's the house worth?
I just had it appraised. It appraised for $174,000.
What do you owe on it?
132.
Okay. All right. So here's what I would do. All right. The problem with a divorce is it turns a marriage into a business transaction. Mm-hmm. And so this is now a list of debts and a list of assets that must be negotiated through. The law in most states, as you have found out, splits it down the middle. What she wants doesn't matter. What you want doesn't matter. The law is going to demand that you split it down the middle. If you come to something close to that and pre-agree to it, the judge will approve it. If you come to something way out of balance, the judge is probably not going to approve it and kick out your agreed-to settlement because it's too stupid. Right. Okay? So, all of that to say, you don't need to be buying anything. If I were in your shoes, I'd sell this truck.
Yeah.
And
I looked into selling that.
Yeah, you said that like I'm not doing it. You need to sell your stupid truck, dude. $970 at $33 an hour is in the cray-cray zone.
Right. I want to get rid of it. I went to trade it in. They told me I would have to pay out $4,000 in equity, negative equity, to get off from underneath the truck at that point.
Good, do it. Okay. Go borrow $4,000 at the credit union and do it.
Or sell a private party if you can make $4,000 more and get out of it clean.
Sell it private and just sell it and be done with it. Somebody will give you more than you owe on it.
Okay.
What is it? What kind of truck is it?
It's a 2023 Chevy Silverado.
That's a beast. That's a good truck. Yeah, you ought to be able to get more than you owe on it. Yeah. So, the problem is the dealer thinks he's got you coming again.
Right.
He got you last time. He's going to get you again.
Especially if you're desperate. They can smell that off of you.
Yeah. So I think you put it on look it up on Kelley Blue Book and sell it for more than you owe on it, and then get you a hoopty because you're driving truck during the day anyway. You don't need a big car right now. You got more problems than you need car, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is temporary. 1 year from today, everything's going to be changed. But temporarily, you've gotten rid of the car. Now you're down to only $35,000 worth of credit card debt and negotiating with your soon-to-be ex-wife over the 401k in the house.
Yes.
Because the credit card debt's going to be split down the middle. You're going to get your 35, she's going to get her 30. You're probably going to give up half your 401k, or you can give her a credit towards the house and sell the house.
Right.
How much is in the 401k?
35,000.
Okay. So 17 of the equity in the house can go to her instead of giving up your 401k, and sell the house and give her half plus 17, which is probably almost the whole thing. But don't let the house stay in the deal. Do not let her have the house because you're on the mortgage, and then she doesn't pay it, you're screwed.
Right.
Force the sale of the house, split the proceeds minus your half of the 401k that you're going to have to give up anyway, and that way your 401k stays intact.
Yes,
you walk out of this with a 401k and only $35,000 worth of credit card debt and a hoopty. Now you can talk about going over the road and making some money and clean up the $35,000 right quick.
Okay.
But you're being managed by emotion because your heart's broken 1 minute, you're pissed the next minute, and you're broken, terrified the next minute.
Yes, sir.
I understand, man. I've been there. It's no fun. And so I haven't been through the divorce part of it, been through the rest of it, though. And it is no fun. So laying out a detailed, factual, game plan with math removes some of the emotion from it, and that's what I just gave you. So go back and listen to this on YouTube or on podcast or however, because I gave you the exact plan of what to do. And what I laid out is negotiable, and if she won't do it, take it before the judge. He'll make her do it. This is The Ramsey Show. So one of the most popular things we have done in many years is about 2 months ago, we started doing free webinars with Jade Warshaw, Rachel Cruz, and George Camel, each of them doing free webinars with the Every Dollar Budgeting app, showing you how to build out your budget, why to build out your budget, and couples are jumping on for free and watching the webinar, and you can interact with the webinar. You can actually ask questions live.
We got a live chat, a Q&A box.
Live chat while we're going. And a what box?
A Q&A box.
Q&A box. So you get those stuff in. So there's interaction. It's not just George squawking at you or Jade or Rachel squawking at you. And so we're doing these free online budgeting trainings. Go to everydollar.com/budgeting. And between now and the end of the year, each one of those three will be doing 3 or 4 of these. And so George, Rachel, Jade, you can jump on, choose which one, or just pick the night or a day or whatever that the time is convenient for you. It's completely free, very interactive, very helpful on the Every Dollar Budgeting app on how to get a plan together. Because if you don't have a plan, it's like Zig Ziglar used to say, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. And my friend John Maxwell says a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. everydollar.com/budgeting. Get registered for the free webinars. George, what do they get if they go to yours?
Well, we give away stuff, and I like to bribe people with that. So we'll give away some stuff. We have a killer.
Do you really? Or are you just making a joke?
No, we really do. We've given away products.
I already give away your services.
I know. We give away some books and products and things like that for those that are brave enough to ask a question in front of 3,000 virtual people. Because there is a cap. Even though it's digital, they cap the room size. So you got to make sure you sign up. We'll also send you a replay if you miss it. A lot of people say, hey, I can't make that time. Sign up anyways. You can go back and watch the whole thing.
There you go. And free stuff for the people that do attend and ask a question, and you bribe people for their involvement.
You got it.
But people do get really interactive. I've heard the stories.
Yeah, we've had great feedback just showing them, because we don't have time on the air to show you how it all works, but that webinar is where we do it.
Olivia is in Madison, Wisconsin. Hi, Olivia. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my question is about student loans. I currently have I have around 105,000 in student loans, and it's broken up between a private university foundation loan and then federal loans. And my question is, the federal loan is broken up into smaller loans.
Yes.
Some of them are subsidized, some are unsubsidized.
Yes.
And so my question is, how do I prioritize that? Do I, or do I just pay the private and then the federal?
I'll tell you how I did it 10 years ago. I laid them all out from smallest balance to largest balance. That's called the debt snowball method, and I ignored the interest rates. Just black them out if you have to, because it gets real confusing and overwhelming. And all you do is you focus on that smallest balance first. My guess is it's one of those little federal loans?
Yes.
What's the smallest balance you got?
I believe the smallest one is about 5,000 or 6,000 of one of the federal loans.
Yeah. What do you make?
My husband and I make about 115.
Great. So how quick are you going to pay that 5 off?
Oh, we can pay the 5 off in probably a couple months.
Max. Yeah. Or more. Or,
I was thinking
faster.
like 2 paychecks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah, all of these federal loans are under one service.
You need to call them. You need to pay the minimums and then call them and get them on the phone, which is a pain in the butt because they're incompetent. But call them and get them on the phone and demand that the money you transfer right then goes on that loan. Because if you mail it to them or you make it one check for all the minimums and that, they will screw it up and spread it across all of them because they're incompetent.
Okay, up until now, we've just been paying whatever
across all of them, yeah.
And nothing happens.
Correct.
Yeah, and you don't see any movement. But I want that little one knocked out, because when that little one's knocked out, your payment changes.
Okay.
And drops down, and then more and more and more, the debt snowball rolls. But if you don't knock out the little one, then the debt snowball doesn't roll. Meaning, every time you pay off something that has a payment with the debt snowball, that old payment now gives you extra money to throw on the next one. But if the old payment is zero, then it doesn't give you any extra money to throw on the next one. So you got to call them, and each stinking month, make sure they're doing the right one, when you're on one of the little small federals.
Yeah, and you can also see online, it may break them out. You may be able to apply that to the principal, but I'm not sure if these websites
if you can make sure on the website, you could try it 1 month and see if it drops the principal on that singular debt rather than spread across all of them. But I got to tell you, it's the worst. It's the federal government. I mean,
the user experience is not
incompetence
top-notch.
of the IRS, the incompetence of the federal government shows up here like you never believe. These people's parents are cousins. It's just awful. They're just horrible. And so it's a disaster. The whole student loan debacle is a disaster. So the faster you get it in the rearview mirror, the better your life is going to be. Good question. Thanks for joining us. Miguel is in San Antonio. Hi, Miguel. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and George. How are y'all doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
That's right. So I'm 22 years old. I have a car payment that's sitting at $10,000 left to be paid off. That's the only debt I have. Originally, the car started at $18,000. I had it for 2 years, and so I've been trying to pay it down much ahead of time just so I can get that completely finished out. And I do have the money to pay it off right now. I could pay it off today, but that is pretty much everything that I have.
So you owe how much today?
Today it's just under $10,000. It's at $9,000.
Okay, and how much money do you have?
I have $12,000 right now.
Okay, what do you make?
So I would still have. I make around $40,000 a year.
Not good. And what other debt do you have other than this stupid car?
I don't have any other debt.
Good.
Pay it off today, man. It leaves you with what, $3,000?
And no car payment.
Yeah, and that doesn't include my emergency fund. I still have an emergency fund of $1,000.
Okay.
No. Your starter emergency fund.
Your starter.
So now you got $3,000. You got $3,000, $4,000. Yeah. And now your next goal is to build that $4,000 up to 3 to 6 months of expenses, which in your case is probably about a $10,000 emergency fund.
Okay.
And without a car payment, you'll get there even faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, yes, that I should pay it off. One more thing I'd like to add on to the story now is that I am engaged.
Congratulations.
We have a wedding.
When? When's the wedding?
We just signed the contract for 2 years, almost exactly 2 years. So
2 years?
That's a long ways away, man.
Why 2 years?
My fiance is still going through graduate school, and I actually work at a university, so she's going to be able to get graduate school paid for with my benefit there.
Not if you're not married.
The blessing. We are planning to get married legally first, and then so that she can get that benefit. And then we're going to have a wedding in the church because we are Catholic and we do want to get married in the church.
Okay, so what does the Catholic Church charge you to get married?
Well, we've been dating for 6 years, and we've had a lot of different people come through our lives, been a part of our story. We wanted to have something. So we have a budget of around $20,000 to $25,000. And with it being just me right now.
So you're talking about actually getting married when? Legally?
Legally would be pretty much the beginning of 2024 in February.
Okay. And then you're husband and wife. The other things, you're just going to have a party.
Exactly.
Okay. And so you're going to save up for a $20,000 party. I don't give a flip when you have your $20,000 party. You can have that whenever you want. You're now husband and wife, and you have a paid-for car. Ta-da! It doesn't change anything, dude. Matter of fact, it actually makes it more sense for you to pay off the thing today.
With that combined income,
because the $10,000 is not going for the party 2 years from now, for sure, while you have a stinking car payment. You're going to save up new money to pay for the party. Or not. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. Jacob and Taylor are on the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. How are you?
Doing well. Great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
So we're from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, fun. Welcome to Nashville. How much debt did you pay?
So we paid off about $182,000.
Good for you. How long did that take?
Too long, but about 8 years.
Okay, good. And what was your range of income during that time?
So we started about 75, and then up to about 125.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
So I'm a mechanic at a Lexus dealer in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
After I graduated college, I ended up in the nonprofit field for about 7.5 years, but now I'm a stay-at-home dog mom. I have a network marketing business, and I'm a part-time barista.
Okay, good for you. Cool. All right. What kind of debt was the $182,000?
So it was student loan for her, and then our mortgage.
Oh, I paid off your house. Yes. Look at them weird people. I love it. So what is this house worth in Tulsa?
It's worth about $280 now.
Way to go, guys. Nice house. We're seeing it on YouTube here. Nice picture. Yeah. And it's all yours.
All ours.
How old are you two weirdos?
So I'm 33.
I just turned 32 last week.
And you have a paid-for house?
Yes.
Do you know anyone that's 33 with a paid-for house other than George?
He was a huge inspiration for us. Very, very big.
Yes,
so
that
very
means the world.
for you.
Well, I'm amazed that this trend keeps happening. I feel like we're seeing it more and more. People in their 20s and 30s.
Late 20s, early 30s coming in here with a paid-off house.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
right. Yeah, it's very exciting.
Do you know, any of your friend group got a paid-for house?
I don't think so.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
They'd be talking about it if they did.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true. They'd be here too.
Where did this idea even come from? How'd you guys get started on this Ramsey way?
8 years ago.
Yeah, good question. So right after I graduated college is when we got married, and we actually got Financial Peace University membership as a wedding gift. And so I'd love to give a shout out to Tracy, a family friend who gifted that to us, and that changed everything for our family. So we took it about 3 months after we got married. And I remember sitting there the second or third week, and I was like, we have to teach this. Like, people need to know about this. And so we went through the class, and we kind of did things a little out of order. We actually bought our home during the class, but turns out we did it right. We put 20% down. It's a 15-year loan, all of that. So all of that was right. But then we, ventured on the student loan, and we got that done. It was $38,000, and we got that done in 22 months.
Good.
So we knocked that out pretty quickly. And so right after that class was over, we started teaching. So we've coordinated nearly 15 classes now.
Whoa,
Super
good for you. Thank you.
We love it. Absolutely love it.
Super coordinators.
Yes.
You got to
awesome.
follow the stuff at that point.
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
class is looking at you.
Yes.
Have you led one since paying off the house?
We had one this summer, so we got to celebrate with them, and then we'll have another one in January. So
That's
that's
amazing.
really kept us accountable, working with each of the classes and sharing our story and all of that. So
It's like your personal trainer having a six-pack. You're
There
like,
you
this
go.
is
Yes.
a good sign. I'm in the right place
Yes,
when I'm in your
exactly.
class. Way to go.
Yeah.
Yes, we're excited. So we, in a lot of ways, I guess a huge part of our story is, we've had emergencies come up just like anybody else. We've replaced our AC unit. I had a 4-night hospital stay. And we also, Jacob is working on his bachelor's, and so we're cash flowing that. And so that's part of the reason why maybe it's taken a little bit longer. And
What are you studying, Jacob?
Mechanical engineering.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay. How much longer do you have?
About a year.
Oh, wow.
About a year
Good
left.
for you. That's going to be a great breakthrough for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's been an almost 5-year process.
Yeah.
So, but
It's all part-time.
Yeah, exactly. So, and as newlyweds, we've done a lot of traveling. We've done a couple of international trips. We've been all over the United States, but all with cash, all without credit cards. And so that certainly has, extended our deadline, I guess. But the goal was always to pay off our home 7 years early.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we did. So
Hit the goal.
We did. It's been really exciting, really
Well,
awesome.
once you're out of baby steps 2 and 3, travel is allowed. It just slows down. It slows down how much you put on baby step 6. Or buying a car is allowed. Or going to school is allowed. It just slows down how much you put on baby step 6. But you still did all of that and did the house in 7 years.
Right. Yes, yeah.
That's
we
pretty
sure
cool.
Did. Yeah, we sure did. It's been fun. It's
been
a
fun,
journey.
yeah.
Yeah, living proof. This stuff still works.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep,
exactly.
every day.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways too. Jacob and I are both natural givers, and so outside of our mortgage, our giving category in our budget was actually one of the largest. And so we were kind of practicing baby step 7 even kind of before we got there.
Yeah.
And so the travel and the giving part of that, we give to things that we're passionate about. We
Yeah.
just couldn't wait to do that. So,
Amen. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Okay, now, how's it feel when you walk through the backyard and you don't have any payments?
Feels nice. It really does. I mean, we don't necessarily worried if that payment was going to be there the first of the month, but it's nice not having to even having to worry about that.
Have y'all walked back in the backyard and stood and looked at the house and went, "That's ours"?
Mm-hmm. We have actually.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Front, back.
Walk through the grass barefoot. Yeah. All of it.
Pictures. Yeah.
Neighbors are going, what are they doing over there?
Exactly. Yes.
They do a lot of celebrating over there. I don't know. That's
Yes,
good. Good for you. What do you tell people in your class the secret to getting out of debt is?
Oh man, number 1 on my list is tithing. That's been just the forefront of our mind.
And why do you think that is?
Man, when you live life like this, it's just better than
Open-handed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, it's just better than you can dream or imagine. And so, blessings have come from that. And certainly, since we have led 15 Financial Peace University classes, we watched the videos 15 times. And so, just keeping up with that and having a group to walk through that with has been a really crucial part. So,
Yeah, the accountability and the open-handedness.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Jacob?
I think it's a lot of it is not living above your means. I mean that we've, not been in any kind of dire straits situation, but we've also not saying, oh, I need to go into debt to do this, or I need to put this money towards a trip and not pay off what we need to pay off. So I think it's knowing what you need as opposed to just what you want.
Yeah, it's intentionality.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to go, guys. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Who was cheering you on?
Everybody. Yeah.
A lot of my parents instilled a lot of this into me from the get-go, so they've always been kind of that driving force for me, especially not before we got married, and then since we've been married, they've been a constant cheerleading team. So, and then her grandma, and then our friends, who know that we're on this journey, they've always been super supportive, and our church family, our community group, we're surrounded by a huge support team.
Wow, that's awesome. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, and you guys are in your early 30s. You got no payments. Give me something you're excited to do in the give, save, spend category with no payments now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, making our giving budget a little bit larger now. We're updating our home. So updating the outdoor space and replacing windows, things like that.
Adulting.
Yeah, adulting. Exactly. Yeah. So that's
any big trips now? You're like, this is the big debt-free trip?
Yeah, actually, next May we're going to go to Italy. Mm-hmm. So we actually, at a fundraising gala prior to COVID, we won a trip through a silent auction, and COVID kind of ruined that a little bit. Couldn't go. Well, now we are 3 years on from it. We're actually going to get to go on it, and even in a better financial place than we were then to go. So we're going to kind of use that as our celebratory.
Yeah, good.
That's awesome.
That's a good trip.
Yeah.
Well done, y'all. That's fun.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. We're very proud of you. We've got the Live and Give bundle for you because you've been doing a lot of both, living and giving. So Baby Steps Millionaires book, you'll be there very soon if you're not already. I didn't ask how much you have in retirement. How much do you have in retirement?
We probably have, I think we have probably about $100,000 now with IRAs.
And you said the house is worth $300?
Close to it.
Yeah, so you're about $400 of
Right.
the million, almost you're on your way to Baby Steps Millionaire.
Right.
Good.
On our way.
Yeah, we got that book for you, and that's your next step, the next stop. And Total Money Makeover book maybe to give to one of your class members, and a Financial Peace University membership. If you find somebody that can't go, will assist you in your giving, your generosity plunge that you're taking. That's awesome. Yes. So congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Jacob and Taylor, Tulsa, Oklahoma, $182,000 paid off, house and everything. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt free.
Yeah! Wow. Excellent. Excellent. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, James 1, 2, and 3. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Franklin Roosevelt said, when you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on. Amen. Kristen is with us in Madison, Wisconsin. Hi, Kristen. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my husband and I were newly married. We just finished baby step 1 this month. We have $45,000 in consumer debt in baby step 2. And as we're laying them out smallest to largest, we also have some other pretty big expenses that aren't necessarily debt. And we're just having a hard time figuring out where they should fall in our snowball.
What are they?
We have, we have 2 vehicles. One of them we own outright. One of them we have a loan for $6,200, and the one that we have a loan on is broken down. The rear differential is completely seized up. It's not drivable. It's going to be about a $2,000 fix. We're hoping to eventually fix it and then sell it to get rid of it. Also, we bought a house at the beginning of this year, and 2 weeks after we closed on our house, the pipes in the bathroom burst. And so that is currently completely gutted. We don't have a shower, sink. We do
at
have
all,
a functional
or
toilet,
just in that bathroom?
Great, at all. That's the only bathroom we have in our house. So we've been showering at our mother-in-law's house. We've been going over there to do that.
For how long?
And then for about 6 months, 7 months. Yeah, she's 2 blocks away, which is great. She's super close, but it's
not
definitely
great.
a pretty big
There's nothing great
inconvenience.
about this. This sucks. Oh my gosh, what a mess.
And
what do you guys
insurance
make?
Wouldn't cover it. Well, that's the other part. I lost my job recently, so currently my husband is working.
Y'all need to
and
write
he
a
makes
country song.
$15 an hour.
We shower at my mother-in-law's and I lost my job. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Wow.
So what's he making?
He's making $18 an hour right now.
Doing what?
He's a machine operator.
What were you making?
I was making $60K. I was a restaurant manager.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you lose your job?
I was working in a restaurant. I loved my job. The hours were not great. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week salary. So I took a different position in the same, it was another restaurant manager position, and I moved over to that. It was going to be 45 hours a week, and that would salary also, so that would allow me a little more time. But a couple weeks into that, they decided that I was not a good fit, and they let me go.
When was that?
That was in June.
Why haven't you worked since June?
Well, that's the other thing. My husband, he had his driver's license suspended, and the car broke down. So we were able.
Why
to
did he
share
have
the
his driver's license suspended? I can't believe this.
it's been suspended for quite a while. He had to wait a couple years. There was a period of time.
DUI?
For the points, yeah, and then for the points to fall off, and so he's eligible to get it reinstated now, but it's about $800 to pay all the fees and for everything, and then our insurance would go up.
Okay, so your excuse is you're a full-time driver for an $18 an hour guy. I'm calling bullcrap. That was a dumb idea. You make more than he makes.
Yeah, and so we were able to share. We were working in the same town. We were driving.
Yeah, back when.
But now with him being, yeah.
Yeah, but now with you not having a job, you used driving him as an excuse to not get a job. So get another job, girl.
Couldn't you drop him and then go work and then pick him up? Or he gets a ride?
That's what they did before. That's what you did before.
Yeah, so we were, I'm looking at I've been doing, applying for jobs. There were a couple I got to the second interview, restaurant manager positions, and they ended up really not going anywhere. But now what I'm looking at is
what would be wrong with working 60 hours a week now? What was wrong with it then? You were broke.
Yeah, it was mostly the schedule and driving back and forth and not being available to pick him up because I had to stay late to solve a problem at work, and so
you lost $60,000 because he didn't buy an Uber.
Yeah,
yeah. You guys need to both be committed to 60 to 80 hours a week, making $20 an hour, and you will solve a lot of these problems you have in a heartbeat. Instead, you're living in a house that's not even habitable because you don't even have a toilet or a shower. And you haven't worked since June. You guys have got to go create some money, girl.
You went from 100K down to 36, and you got 45 in debt. So if we get you back to work again, we can solve this. The debt is not your problem. Your income, the fact you guys don't make any money is your problem, and you don't work much.
Yeah.
You both need.
He needs a new job. He needs a new job making $25 an hour, and 2 extra jobs making $20 an hour. And you need the 60, 70, 80 hour a week, 60 to 80,000 to be the restaurant manager job, and buy him an Uber if you're stuck at work.
I mean, can you wait tables in the meantime?
Yes.
So that's what our next plan was. I can pay $125 to reinstate my CNA. I have to go take the test, but then I would be able to get my CNA license back, and that's
I'm sorry, what is a CNA license? Job. What is a CNA license?
Certified nurse assistant.
And what would that pay?
$25 an hour. 20 to
Why
25.
would you want to do that when you can make 60? As broke as you are. Why don't you go get you some money?
I've been applying for restaurant manager positions. I had two where I went to the second interview process. I've applied for more than those, but those are the ones where I was interviewed. And
you guys need to sit down. You guys need to sit down and figure out the way on the short term, not what your dream is, but the thing you can do that is moral and legal that allows you all to work the most hours and make the most money for about 2 years so you can get your shower fixed and get your debt paid off. But you're not going to do it with all these theories and all these limitations, and you're finding all kinds of reasons to not do this stuff. Really, honestly, 50 grand solves your whole life. $50,000. You could have made that since June if he was working overtime and you were still working. And so you really have an income. Your perception of work and your perception of income on a temporary basis needs to change. That is your issue. Because you guys need to build, $18 an hour. I mean, in a world where most people are making 25 to 30, okay? And no, you don't go get a CNA to make $25 an hour when you have the income potential of 60 to 80,000 at a restaurant. And in the meantime, until you land that, you go get 6 jobs. And you guys work your tail ends off. I'm fixing my freaking toilet in my shower. This is crazy, y'all. Go make some money, girl. We want you to win. But you guys spend a lot of your in talking to you, There's a lot of mental gymnastics on why we can't create an income. There's a lot of them. I mean, you're like a world-class gymnast.
Well, I know life has happened to you.
I know it has, but it's got stuck in your head, and you got this loop going, and I'm trying to force you. Even if you get mad at me, I'm doing that because I love you. I'm trying to force you to rethink your view on work.
Well, every question there's a story behind. I know, but at some point we just have to put it down and do it anyways, and go to work anyways, and do the job we don't want to do anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your $50,000 changes your whole life. You could go make $50,000 to $100,000 more than you made in the last 12 months in the next 12 months between the two of you changing your view on work. That's how fast your life can turn around. And the desperation that you feel every day when you go to your mother-in-law's to take a shower will go away. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.